Hi guys, so instead of my usual giant Christmas book haul, I have 5 books to show you. 2 of these I got for Christmas and 3 of them I was sent for review in the weeks leading up to Christmas. So firstly, the 2 books I received for Christmas are from some lovely booktube friends and they're both non-fiction, which I'm really excited about because I do have a lot less non-fiction on my TBR, so I feel a lot less guilty about owning more non-fiction books. So the first one is from the lovely Lauren over at the channel Lauren and the Books, and that is Encounters with Plants, Stars and Animals, Things That Are by Amy Leach. Now, very bizarrely, Lauren chose this quite well because I actually bought this book 2 or 3 years ago in hardback edition, and I bought it second-hand online, so I didn't see the condition it was in before it arrived, and it was in quite poor condition, and so in the end I decided not to keep it, and I never got around to replacing it. So Lauren had no idea that had happened and picked the book up in this lovely little paperback edition, which I find really cute. And this is just a beautiful book and I'm so excited to have it in my life again and to pick it up this time and actually get around to reading it. So this is an essay collection and it's non-fiction, but it's sort of prose non-fiction. And that is because the author is writing essays about animals and the natural world, but they're incredibly lyrical. They're almost from the animals' perspectives. I've had a glance through them and I'm going to do a poor job at explaining them, but I'm very excited to pick them up. They feel almost poetic in nature and I love reading about animals and the natural world and really don't do it enough, so there's that one. And then this next one, the lovely Jen Campbell picked me up, and that is Creating Freedom, Power, Control and the Fight for Our Future by Raul Martinez. Now, I hadn't actually heard of this book, but I was so excited when I opened it on Christmas Day and read the title. Shows the sort of geek I am to be excited to receive this as a Christmas gift. But I was very excited, and that's because I got really into reading non-fiction recently, and particularly reading about social issues and trying to understand politics more. Throughout my life I've had a really poor understanding of politics, and it still is relatively poor, but it's certainly getting better. And most of that has been through reading books. I'm still not really into keeping up to date on the news, which is something I want to try and do, but I want to try and get a background knowledge, because I find when I try and keep up with news articles, my background knowledge of all these countries and their histories and political situations is so poor that I need to build up that background knowledge first. So I'm trying to sort of read lots of books that talk about power and politics and all this sort of thing. So this sounds perfect. I had a look into some reviews and some interviews of the author, and I think he's a really young author, and so this book is sort of being lauded as a new voice on these topics. So I'm really excited to get to this one and hope to read it very soon. Then we have a book I requested from the publisher about a month ago and just haven't got around to showing you yet. You've probably seen this one around BookTube, and that is The Strange Companions, is it? Or The Silent Companions by Laura Purcell. Now this is, I think, Victorian, I'm not entirely sure, but it's a gothic historical fiction set in England, and it's about a woman who is recently married and her husband has suddenly died and she's inherited his estate, and she goes to live in a mansion which is very isolated, and some scary things start to happen. Now, I read the first chapter or so of this when it arrived, and it feels like it's going to be a real easy sort of romp of a historical fiction, so I am really looking forward to picking this one up, and I've heard really great things about it, so there's that one. And then the other one, I was contacted by the author about this one. Now usually I don't accept books directly from the author, and that's because it's way more awkward if you don't like someone's book when they sent you it personally than it is if a publisher sends you their book. But every now and again an author will contact me and they have a publishing house behind them, and the book just sounds like something I'm going to enjoy so much that I think it's worth taking the risk. And in particular with this one, I think it's exciting because it's a new voice and I'm just intrigued by the book, so I accepted it. And that is Rainbirds by Clarissa Goenawan. Now I probably butchered that, so apologies. So as I said, the author contacted me herself and she was ever so lovely about it. And the book comes out in March and it's published by Soho Press. Now they're an indie American press. I greatly admire their work and what they publish, so that made me really excited to hear they decided to pick this book up, and it just sounds phenomenal. So it's supposed to be sort of a literary suspense with elements of magical realism. It's set in rural Japan and it follows the story of a man who finds that his sister has recently died, so he goes to the rural area of Japan that she was living in to try and get her affairs in order, but instead of sort of tidying up her life and leaving, he ends up sort of taking on her life. So he takes on her lodgings, her job, he gets involved with the people she was involved in before her death, and it all gets a bit mysterious and dark and twisted. So very excited. I read some of the excerpts of this before I accepted it and it's beautifully written, so very happy and excited to have this one, and I'll try and read this before it comes out in March. And this last one arrived a few days before Christmas in the post, and I've said before I don't usually accept when books arrive in the post and I haven't previously requested them or told the publisher I'm happy to accept them. Usually I just don't keep them, and that's because most of the time they don't sound like the sort of thing I would enjoy. But the lovely Tina works at Piccadilly and she really knows what I enjoy. She's moved publishers over the years and always been really great at sending me stuff that she thinks I would really like, and this is no exception. So this is The Wild Robot by Peter Brown. Now this came out about a year ago in the US, I think, and as soon as I saw the cover I was like, I need that book in my life, and then I had a look into what it was about and instantly added it to my sort of middle grade to buy list, and just hadn't got around to it because the list is very, very big, as you can imagine. And then it turns out it's been picked up by a UK publisher and Tina very kindly sent it to me. So this is about a robot who wakes up on a remote island with no memories, and she begins to befriend all the animals there and sort of make a life for herself. But as she does this, she gets her memories back, and I don't think they're as pleasant as she would have hoped. So yeah, I really like the sound of this one, and it's just beautiful, so beautiful. I don't know if it says the cover illustration is by Peter Brown. Oh, the author must be, so that's very, very good. Double talented. So there's that one. So those are the last 5 books I accumulated in 2017. Do let me know if you've read any of these books or if you're excited for them, and also feel free to let me know what books you got for Christmas that you're really excited to read, because I'd love to know. See you in the next video.